Hello everyone, first news update from Moscow, Russia. Now it's 8 o'clock and let's start this episode with breaking news for this moment, which is that India has begun military operations against the terrorist targets in Pakistan. Yesterday, late evening, India launched Operation Sindoor against a terrorist network. On the evening of May 6, the Indian Defense Ministry reported that in response to a terrorist attack in Pahalgam, it launched Operation Sindoor, striking a terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan. Key points from a statement: during the operation that began, strikes were carried out on 9 targets. No Pakistani military targets were attacked. The actions were targeted, measured, and not escalatory in nature. India's Defense Ministry is claiming Pakistan, on its part, also launched retaliatory attacks on Indian targets. Pakistan has carried out retaliatory missile attacks on targets in India, the Sama TV channel reported, citing sources. And also, according to reports, artillery duels began between their sides on a borderline. Pakistan also claimed that India targeted civilian areas, and simultaneously, number of Pakistani sources reported that they shot down 3 Indian jets. Yet again, it's up to you, dear friends, if you believe these reports or not. On internet, videos are circulating of fragments of certain type that can be affiliated with a plane, but when this video was made, what kind of plane that is difficult to say from those videos that at least I see. Although Pakistani side is claiming that they shot down at least 2 French-made Rafale fighter jets that are in India's Air Force. I guess today, maybe in upcoming days, we will find out about it. Meanwhile, interesting report from Vzglyad newspaper that India soon will receive new vessel from Russia. So delivery of their latest frigate Tamal, which with the supersonic BrahMos missiles to the Indian Navy, will take place on May 28. This was reported by India Today. So on one hand, there is unfortunate escalation between India and Pakistan, despite calls from all over the world to de-escalate. And this morning I see reports that Pakistan was moving heavy armored vehicles towards the border, including tanks. And on the other hand, we have this report about cooperation of the Russian and Indian militaries, Russian and Indian military-industrial complex, which is a positive news, but obviously this positive news is in shadow now due to this massive escalation between 2 neighboring nuclear powerhouses, India and Pakistan. According to a number of sources, as a result of Indian strikes, few dozen of civilians were killed, although yet again India is repeating that they target only terrorist sites. No Pakistani militaries were struck as a result of this attack, although Pakistan on its part claims attacks on airfield network of India and on strong points of Indian armed forces on the borderline. So Pakistan is not shying away to claim that they are directly targeting Indian militaries, and Pakistani officials also claimed that they captured several Indian military personnel. But yet again, this all report should be taken with a pinch of salt, because obviously fog of war has its impact on the situation. Let's hope sides will de-escalate, but unfortunately, at least for now, all we see is further escalatory steps, which is quite unfortunate. After all, we are talking about, yet again, nuclear powerhouses. And well, let's go through some other news, although before I do this, first this short video, dear friends. Dear friends, I hope you like my work and want to help preserve this independent media project, and if so, let me go through several means that can be used for assistance. First is a PayPal platform. Once you click on PayPal link under my videos in description box and in the pinned comment, this account will open, which belongs to my wife Anna Philipson Caballero, so feel free to donate through this account. Second way is a Boosty platform where you can send a tip or donate, which is basically the same, and also you can become a Patreon for the project. You can subscribe to my page while choosing your level of support. Third way is a Patreon platform where I already have 370 extra content videos. You can also choose your level of monthly support from $5 to 10, 20, 50, 100 and become a Patreon, or you can use another feature that Patreon has, which is access to each videos for a certain amount of money. Now this is $3, so you can access to any video for $3. Relatively new feature that Patreon adopted, and it might be helpful also if for whatever reason you don't want to become a monthly supporter. And there is another way, which is a Rumble platform, dear friends. Whenever I have a pre-planned live stream or live stream is on air, you can become a premium subscriber. You can give premium subscription to other members of the community, or you can use a rant feature that Rumble has, which is basically similar to super chat on YouTube. All the links, dear friends, all the links to all these platforms that I just show you are under my videos in the description box and in the pinned comments, including address to crypto wallet. I hope this video will be useful in case you are considering support for my work and this media project. Many thanks to all the members of our community who already supported. Have a wonderful day and take care. I hope this helps to navigate through several means that can be used to support my work in this project. And dear friends, by chance, if you're thinking that I'm missing out on some news on major developments, please check out my evening live streams on a Rumble channel, which are packed with the news, and obviously I cannot repeat same news or update after update. So that's been said, let's go through some other news now. And RIA Novosti is reporting that air defense systems, Russian air defense systems on duty, shut down 57 Ukrainian drones over Russian territory yesterday evening. So basically, Kyiv regime was launching wave after wave after wave drones with assistance of NATO to strike deep into Russian territory. And for example, during the evening of May 6, after 1840, by the way, from 7 o'clock in the evening, basically, Moscow time, air defense systems on duty destroyed and intercepted 57 Ukrainian armored unmanned aerial vehicles of their aircraft type. 31 drones were intercepted over the territory of Bryansk region, 14 drones over the territory of Kursk region, 7 drones over Oryol region, 2 over territory of Kaluga region, and 2 over territory of Ryazan region. And later on, Mayor of Moscow reported that several drones were intercepted on their approach during their approach to Moscow, and at night time. For example, this news was published almost at 4 o'clock this morning. Sobyanin, mayor of Moscow, reported that another 2 drones were intercepted near Moscow. And still, by the way, until this moment, reports are coming in from different regions of the Russian Federation about these waves of drones that were launched by Kyiv regime with the assistance of NATO to strike deep into Russian territory. This Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky and its Western backers or globalist backers and the puppet regimes of the globalists, first of all in UK, are trying as much as they can to disrupt her Victory Day celebration here in Russia and to harm Russia as much as they possibly can, particularly in these days. At one point, Moscow probably will have no option but to say enough is enough, and then something big might happen. But for now, Russia is still exercising restraint as much as possible, although obviously retaliatory strikes are taking place. And for example, we have this report that there was explosions in Kiev. According to a number of sources, Iskander M missiles were launched by Russian Federation to neutralize a point of concentration of Kiev regime's forces and their military and logistical infrastructure inside the Kiev. During the day, Defense Ministry might share additional information, more precise information about these latest strikes. Also, we have this report from TASS news agency that Russian armed forces liberated the settlement of Lisovka in the DPR. And let me show you on the map, dear friends, this area. It's a Pokrovsk-Mirnograd agglomeration area, southern side of it. So this is Lisovka settlement. A couple of days ago, I did report about progress of the Russian armed forces in this direction, and now we have official confirmation from Defense Ministry that this settlement is actually liberated. And as you can see on the map, dear friends, after Lisovka there is basically nothing left, Pokrovsk and Mirnograd. So one may argue that Russian troops already are conducting operations in vicinity of this agglomeration. And this is not all. On southern western flank of Pokrovsk-Mirnograd agglomeration, Russian armed forces established control over the settlement of Katlirovka, this area here. And as you can see also, dear friends, this is important because after this settlement, on the western side, there is nothing, just a field and then the Dnipropetrovsk region. So, as I predicted last week, that was, I still think that after Victory Day celebrations and after 72-hour ceasefire from 8 to up to 11th of May, I'm quite sure it will take only a couple of days, and the Russian troops will begin launching operations to liberate people and their settlements in Dnipropetrovsk region of this former Soviet Republic under the name of Ukraine. That's been said there. Let's go through some more news, and we have also this report from TASS news agency that Russian armed forces destroyed yet another HIMARS multi-launch rocket system of Kyiv regime, US-made weapon system, and in last several days, this is I believe third or fourth HIMARS that was destroyed, which is important because of the long-range capabilities of this system. There is a video of this operation. You can see missiles were launched from HIMARS, and the Russian intelligence drone were surveilling area, tracking movement of this HIMARS systems, and then attack drones conduct strikes, and that's the result of it. Another HIMARS is destroyed. Also, RT is reporting in all the other media outlets that yesterday POW swap took place. So Moscow and Kiev have conducted an exchange of prisoners of war. Each side received 205 POWs. So 205 Russian military personnel is freed now and will join if they need a medical checkup, of course, or medical assistance, of course, they will receive whatever is necessary, and otherwise, they will definitely have a opportunity to meet their families and the loved ones, and rest a little bit, because obviously they had some harsh times in Ukrainian captivity. It is good that this prisoner exchange did happen in before celebration of the victory in a greater patriotic war. Although unfortunately Kyiv regime did not respond positively on a ceasefire, 72-hour ceasefire itself, which is unfortunate, but yet again, it's not up to Kyiv, I guess, it's up to London at this point, because obviously globalists are in charge of Kyiv, and globalist puppet regimes, first of all, British elites, and they definitely don't care about a victory day in a great patriotic war. They all are fake elements with fake principles and fake morals, so it is what it is. And when it comes to preparations for Victory Day, we have this report, dear friends, that 29 foreign leaders are planning to attend a victory parade in Moscow. So 29 foreign leaders will attend the parade in Moscow in honor of their 80th anniversary of the victory in the Great Patriotic War, said presidential aide Yuri Ushakov. The leaders of Brazil, China, Palestine, and Egypt will attend the parade in Moscow. Venezuela will be represented at the victory parade in the capital at the highest level. President Maduro will visit Russia. By the way, this morning, just a couple of minutes ago, I posted on my Twitter X and Telegram channel that President of Brazil, Lula da Silva, is already on his way to Moscow. So presidential aide specified that leaders of Azerbaijan, Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Abkhazia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Brazil, Burkina Faso, Venezuela, Vietnam, Guinea-Bissau, Egypt, Zimbabwe, China, Congo, Cuba, Laos, Mongolia, Myanmar, Palestine, Serbia, Slovakia, Equatorial Guinea, Ethiopia, and South Ossetia will gather in Moscow for a victory day, and I think this is still preliminary data. More delegations obviously will come to Moscow. Unfortunately, Prime Minister of India cannot attend this celebration for understandable reasons due to escalation between India and Pakistan. Also, we have this report from Vzгляд newspaper that, well, it is become known where approximately Russian President Vladimir Putin will visit China this year. And Yuri Ushakov, aide of the Russian president, stated that Putin's visit to China is planned for the end of August or beginning of September. So late August or early September, most likely Russian president will visit China. And this is a regular stuff at this point. On a year-on-year basis, both leaders are visiting countries of each other, demonstrating strategical level of partnership between Russia and Chinese People's Republic. RIA Novosti is reporting that German president appointed Friedrich Mertz as a new chancellor of Germany. Yesterday, it took 2 votes in Bundestag, Germany's parliament, to elect Mertz as a chancellor. First time Mertz failed, but second time he managed to gather enough votes to be appointed then by president as a chancellor. Well, I will say unfortunate news, unfortunate for first of all people of Germany and German Federal Republic, and also unfortunate news in terms of relationships between Germany and Russia, because Friedrich Merz is a puppet of globalists, extreme Russophobe, and even before latest parliamentary elections, Mertz was acting extremely hawkish towards Russia. He was threatening the Taurus long-range cruise missiles will be or should be delivered to Kiev-controlled territory to be used against Russia. He was acting as hostile as possible, and I guess he will continue to do so. So therefore, I expect a significant escalation in relationships between Moscow and Berlin. We will find out. But appointment of this puppet of the globalist on a position of Chancellor of Germany definitely is going to be a setback for Germany, for Russia-German relationships, for German people, obviously, and for Europe in general. Meanwhile, we have reports that idea of airstrikes fully disables Yemen's main airport in the capital city of Sana'a. So Israeli airstrikes have fully disabled the international airport in Yemen's Houthi-controlled capital Sana'a, and also other targets were hit by Israeli Air Force, according to IDF. I reported about it yesterday during the live stream on my Rumble channel. It is worth noticing that Israel issued a warning to evacuate this airport in Sana'a before strikes took place, and due to this, casualty numbers were minimized. I saw videos from airport before strike when it was basically practically empty, but still destruction of civilian infrastructure that poses no threat to Israel. I mean, Ansar Allah movement or Houthi rebels, they don't really have bombers or fighter jets that can take off from Sana'a airport and strike Israel. So what was the point of destruction of this airport? I have no idea. Airport was used mainly for humanitarian missions. Planes were flying in to deliver humanitarian aid, and for time being now this would not be possible because according to claims, at least from IDF, airport was fully disabled. Meanwhile, when it comes to Houthi rebels, dear friends, Trump yesterday, during the meeting with the Prime Minister of Canada, that was, if I'm not mistaken, claimed that Houthis have capitulated, so Washington will immediately halt airstrikes on Yemen. US President Donald Trump announced on Tuesday. He made the announcement while speaking at the White House alongside Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney. It was Canadian Prime Minister. The order came after weeks of US-led attacks on Yemen, targeting the Houthi militant group, which has capitulated and pledged to stop attacks on commercial maritime traffic in the region, according to Trump, by the way. I don't think Houthis really capitulated, because a few hours after this claim of Trump, reports that are coming in that Houthi rebels launched missile towards US aircraft carrier in Red Sea. So did Houthis capitulate or not? I don't know. Nowadays, any statement that comes from Trump should be taken with a mountain of salt, because God knows what he's talking about and from where he's taking all this information. I don't know. But when it comes to US aircraft carrier in Red Sea, Harry Truman, it lost a third plane, by the way. It lost a third FA-18. So the US Navy has lost another fighter jet in the Red Sea, marking their second incident involving FA-18 Super Hornet from the USS Harry Truman in just over a week, and the third such loss since Washington intensified operations against Houthi rebels in Yemen. And according to official claims, landing gear failed. There was some technical issues with the plane, and that's why pilots, two crew members basically, had to eject from their plane, but who knows what happened in reality. Yet again, after Trump claimed yesterday that Houthis capitulated, it did not take like more than a couple of hours, and Houthis launched missile towards Harry Truman, right? So I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe plane was really experiencing some technical issues, or maybe it was just neutralized by Houthi strike. Hard to tell. RIA Novosti, meanwhile, is reporting that according to Wall Street Journal, US steps up intelligence collection on the Greenland. So if you were thinking the topic of Greenland is closed, at least for the time being, seems like it is not the case, and Washington is still determined to, one way or another, but to establish control over this huge island. So the United States aimed presidential Donald Trump plans to annex Greenland is stepping up intelligence gathering on the Danish island. The Wall Street Journal reports citing sources, and one day, dear friends, we might wake up and see news that, well, Greenland is actually occupied now by US militaries that already are present on the island, by the way, for decades and decades, since the Second World War, I believe, right? And, well, this might actually happen, and I don't think Denmark will do anything about it. Some strong statements might be made there, but that's about it. No Denmark, no other European countries, formerly NATO allies of Denmark, gonna do literally anything to oppose US occupation of this island. And when it comes to US occupation, same fate might be waiting for Canada, because yesterday during meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister, Trump was quite hawkish, by the way. I mean, in this Oval Office, this meeting between Trump and his team, and Coney and his team, did not went as wild as during the Zelensky's story, but it was quite awkward scenery for sure. Trump was attacking, by the way, non-stop, and he was messing around that this artificial border between two countries is an obstacle, and currently Prime Minister of Canada can do nothing, according to Trump. That will force Washington to change its stance on tariffs against on Canadian goods, and it was, as I said, it was quite stranger, to say the least, scenery there. And when it comes to Canada, by the way, it's not just a US occupation, seems like quite realistic at this point, but also full-scale disintegration of this country, and calls for it already present there. For example, one of the Canadian provinces could hold a secession referendum soon. So Alberta could hold a public referendum on breaking away from Canada next year if a citizens-led petition gets the required number of signatures. The province's premier, Danielle Smith, said on Monday, the Western province has long clashed with the federal government over the legislation limiting fossil fuel development and promoting clean energy, which Alberta officials say unfairly targets their economy. Smith's announcement came days after the Liberal Party secured their fourth consecutive term in the federal election, deepening political divide between Ottawa and oil-rich Alberta. So, yes, by the way, it's Alberta. There is a Quebec that, some people in Quebec, mainly French-speaking part of Canada, is also, some people at least there are seeking independence for a while, and they were very close to achieving this goal, while Charles de Gaulle was leading France. I believe at that point Quebec really became quite close to independence, but that was not enough, I guess. And now, under new realities, when US is openly basically claiming, openly stating its intentions to establish control over the Canada one way or another, I guess these secession movements will gain additional energy, additional momentum. And as I said, it's not just a US occupation, seems like possible at this point, but also full-scale disintegration of Canada. And process, one may argue, is already underway. And dear friends, I will end this relatively short update on that. Hopefully you will find it informative and interesting, useful. And if so, please click that like button, leave some commentary, and share video with your friends, or share information about the existence of this channel. That will be a great support. And as I already said in that short video, if you want to support my work and this project, you can use several means. I explain this all in that short video, so it's all up to you. Have a wonderful day and take care. And this evening, dear friends, at 7 o'clock, if you will manage, please join the live stream, evening news live stream on my Rumble channel. This is it for now. Have a wonderful day and take care.